Good morning and happy Mother's Day. I'm John Wygand, Interim Dean of the College of Creative Arts. I'd like to welcome you, our 2023 graduates, the staff and faculty, and all of your family and friends to our College of Creative Arts recognition ceremony. Who's excited to be here? In honor of this year's celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Miami Tribe of Oklahoma and Miami University's partnership, I'd like to begin today's ceremony by reading the Miami Land Acknowledgement. Miami University is located within the traditional homelands of the Miamia and Shawnee people, who, along with other indigenous groups, ceded these lands to the United States in the first Treaty of Greenville in 1795. The Miami people, whose name our university carries, were forcibly removed from these homelands in 1846. In 1972, a relationship between Miami University and the Miami Tribe of Oklahoma began and evolved into a reciprocal partnership, including the creation of the Miamia Center at Miami University in 2001. The work of the Miamia Center serves the Miami Tribe community and is dedicated to the revitalization of Miami language and culture and to restoring that knowledge to the Miamia people. Miami University and the Miami Tribe are proud of this work and of the more than 140 Miamia students who have attended Miami since 1991 through the Miamia Heritage Award Program. Now, please stand and join graduating senior Lauren Manus in the singing of our national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Please be seated. I would like to introduce the College of Creative Arts Executive Committee and Platform Party. I ask each of you to stand as I introduce you. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Julia Gishard, Acting Associate Dean, College of Creative Arts. Chad Reynolds, Assistant Dean, College of Creative Arts. Chris Tanner, Chair, Department of Music. Matt Omasta, Chair, Department of Theater. Michael Bailey Van Kuren, Chair, Department of Emerging Technology and Business and Design. Glenn Platt, Director of the Armstrong Institute of Emerging Technology. Amity Noltemeyer, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. Mary Rajero, Chair, Department of Architecture and Interior Design. Todd Stewart, Director, Arts Management and Arts Entrepreneurship. Amanda Alexander, Chair, Department of Art. Jack Green, Director of the Richard and Carol Cox Art Museum. Patty Hannon-Libertor, Director of the Performing Arts Series and Assistant Dean for External Relations, and our featured guest speaker this morning, Edwin Schupman. Please be seated. And we have a special guest sitting with our faculty today. Please join me in welcoming our provost. I hope she's here. and former Dean of our College of Creative Arts, Liz Mullenix. Liz, thank you for picking the right ceremony to attend today. I also want to recognize and thank several other individuals who have contributed to today's program. Please stand as I call your name. Our faculty marshals, John DeFrancesco, Della Reams, Harvey Thurmer, Young-Ok Ho, Molly Moran, and Kat Setzer. Shay Frawley, graduating senior in communication design, who designed the cover of your program. Our sign language interpreters, Beth Tanner and Maggie Cobb-Wessling. Deans Gishard and Reynolds, Senior Academic Advisor Tracy Hayes, Assistant to the Dean Carolyn DeWitt, and Dean staff members Tasha Dean, Patty Libertor, and Micah Current, who together coordinated today's recognition ceremony. I ask the faculty to stand and be recognized this morning. Come on. Your professors, the extraordinary faculty of the College of Creative Arts, have worked tirelessly to inspire and guide you. As you leave the CCA, I hope that you will remember the inspirational teaching of your faculty, make them proud, and join me now in thanking your teachers and mentors. One more applause. And I'd like to make one more recognition while we're here to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates. This is also a celebration for the families and friends of these students whose support helped to make this day possible. So before we continue, I ask our graduates to stand up as you are able and to please acknowledge your family and friends with a hearty round of applause. Congratulations, class of 2023. You made it. If my math is correct, you have the distinct honor of having headed off to college and then having been sent right back home to live with mom and dad in the spring of your first year. Who remembers that? And then, because that was fun, you decided to stay another year. You may have blocked that out of your memory. But I've learned that life is all about stories, and that's a great story for your grandkids someday. So here we are. In my time teaching here at Miami, I've found that those first couple years often involve some soul searching about what to major in and how that major might lead to a job or a next step, to which I've always asked students two questions. Number one, what are you really good at? And number two, what do you really love to do? And maybe those questions weren't front and center for all of you in the middle of a pandemic, but here we are. And those questions remain relevant today. Ask yourself, What are you really good at, good enough that someone might pay you to do it? And what do you really love to do? And if the same thing answers both questions, you're off to the races. I want to reflect for a moment on what it means to have a degree in the arts and why the arts are relevant, maybe most relevant, as you leave Miami for your future lives. What employers cite over and over when asked in surveys what they look for in a prospective employee and what most predicts your future success are the 4 C's. What they want someone who can think critically and think creatively, not just come in with the right answers, work collaboratively, and communicate effectively. As you think back on your 4, maybe more, years at Miami, you've produced stage plays, dance performances, performed in musical ensembles, designed buildings and interiors and websites and fashion. You've created lesson plans and gallery exhibits and built the next app of the future. You are thinking creatively and critically and collaboratively and communicating all the time. Class of 2023, whether your next step is within the arts, in support of the arts, or something altogether different, you are well prepared. And finally, I leave you with why I think the arts matter a whole lot to your future lives and to the world we all live in. First, the arts surround and support us more than you may realize. The building we're all sitting in, the chair you're sitting on, the program you're reading, and the app you're looking at on your phone, for all of you not paying attention, are all created by designers. The arts entertain us. The play we watch, the music we're listening to here today, or the amazing new series we saw on Netflix that we can't wait to tell our friends about. The arts challenge us. They make us think, sometimes make us uncomfortable, and occasionally change minds. They invite reflection and action. The arts elevate our souls, whether listening to a beautiful symphony, contemplating a painting in a quiet moment, or erupting in applause as the curtain comes down on a stage play. The arts, in so many ways, are what we live for. And finally, the arts remind us of our shared humanity. In appreciating the arts and design and the beauty around us, we do this together. Class of 2023, congratulations. Take your art out into the world and make a difference. It's my pleasure now to introduce you to a fellow thriving artist, Edwin Schupman. Edwin Schupman's love of music began at an early age. He excelled in school band programs and as a performing musician. He completed a bachelor's degree in composition at the University of Idaho, a master's degree in music theory at Miami University, and nearly 2 years of coursework in the PhD program in ethnomusicology at the University of California at Los Angeles. Edwin is a citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation on his mother's side of the family and is of German ethnicity on his father's side. His master's thesis explored the traditional music of the Muskogee people using original field research that he completed in Oklahoma. His ongoing interests and experiences with Native American people, cultures, and histories ultimately led him to change his career focus from music to Native American education. In a career spanning 35 years, Edwin worked at the Library of Congress, Orbis Associates Education Consulting, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of the American Indian. During his 18 years at the National Museum of the American Indian, Edwin helped create and manage Native Knowledge 360, a national educational initiative focused on improving K-12 teaching and learning about Native Americans. He led efforts to create new digital and print resources, teacher professional development programs, and a partnership network with Native communities, teachers, state education agencies, and other education organizations. He has published articles, blogs, and been a featured speaker at numerous conferences and symposia. Edwin believes that people in the creative arts have great but underutilized powers to bring about positive and important change. Please join me in welcoming Edwin Shootman.
Thank you, Dean Wigan. Well, esteemed members of the administration and faculty, guests, graduates, and supporters, good morning. And you graduates, congratulations. Thank you so much for the honor of offering a few remarks on this celebratory occasion. To begin, I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and mother figures in the audience. Let's give them a round of applause. If I could ask a favor now, please, could you raise your hand if you've ever had a mother? I see a few hands aren't up. But anyway, we have so much in common already. I'm a citizen of the Muskogee Nation of Oklahoma on my mother's side of the family. Traditional Muskogee society is matrilineal. This means that the lines of descendants follow the mother's side and that women have a great deal of power and influence. They are respected and honored not only for their social and political roles, but also for their power to create and nurture life. There are still today Muskogee songs, dances, and ceremonies that honor women. It's a beautiful and important tradition. This is my first visit to the lovely Miami campus in 39 years. Actually, since I left a few days after attending the same ceremony that you're attending today. I'm honored to stand with you. And although we come from very diverse and disparate backgrounds and experiences, to join you today in a circle of commonality, to not only celebrate your achievements, but to acknowledge our complex relationships with art, our shared experiences in finding and expressing creativity, our work and our challenges, and the satisfaction that comes with crossing finish lines. I believe that we're extremely fortunate to have talents and the perseverance that allows us to participate in the creative arts. As I thought about my remarks for today, I settled on sharing some of my own experiences, not because they're necessarily exemplary, but because I hope they illustrate for you how life and career goals can shift and refocus given the opportunities and experiences we encounter along the way. You might be wondering how someone with a master's degree in music theory wound up in a career focused on education for and about Native Americans. Music has always been important to me. When I was about 8 years old, a gentleman came to our house and gave me a musical aptitude test. This test consisted of him tapping a few rhythms and me tapping them back, him singing some short melodies and me singing them back. When I finished, he declared that indeed I had musical aptitude and I should learn to play an instrument. I don't remember this part, but I'm pretty sure at this point he offered to sell said instrument to my parents. My parents eventually said I could play an instrument in the school band program, and I picked the trombone. Then in 1964, the Beatles did their first USA tour, and on my 11th birthday, I remember watching them perform on the Ed Sullivan Show on our family's black and white television. Here were these cool-looking guys with long hair, traveling all over the world, making buckets of money, and kids screaming in the audience. I knew I had to learn to play guitar. So now I had two instruments, and after many years of performing in concert bands, marching bands, jazz ensembles, rock bands, and teaching private lessons, I turned my attention to the academic side of music. Eventually, I completed an undergraduate degree in music composition at the University of Idaho. I had an experience there that some of you might relate to. The music department was having a student composer's recital, and I was really excited to debut my new modernist piece for solo guitar based on a 12-tone row technique. When my turn came, I walked out on stage, set my music on the stand, sat in the chair, lifted my foot to the stool, and got my guitar in playing position. I looked up at my music on the stand, and it was upside down. Well, there was nothing to do but stop and turn it over. There were a few snickers in the audience. "It's okay," I said, "it works either way." Music people especially know what that means. It's kind of like the equivalent would be taking an abstract expressionist painting and hanging it upside down. I like it that way too. Anyway, by that point I was too rattled to play my piece perfectly, but I got through it. My long-term goal was to get a PhD, but I wasn't sure how that was going to happen. During the summer after graduation, I was playing in a pit band at a musical theater in Montana. I had applied to 4 different graduate schools, and although I'd been accepted at all 4, I hadn't received any offers of financial aid, which was critical for me. Frankly, I'd almost given up on a graduate education in music. Then at the end of the summer, I received a letter from the music department at Miami offering me a teaching assistantship. So we packed up a U-Haul and relocated to Oxford. I've never forgotten my first morning in Oxford. It was late August, very hot, very humid, and very hazy. Sound familiar? Being from Colorado, the air seemed heavy and kind of difficult to breathe. But I reminded myself that people have been breathing just fine here for millennia. I'm sure there was some graduate student anxiety mixed in with that equation, but after settling in and attending my first few graduate seminars, I knew that I had landed in an exceptional place. I became deeply engaged in what I was learning, and I wanted to absorb as much as I could. In my musicology seminar, I was introduced to the discipline of ethnomusicology, and I was totally fascinated with the idea of studying the music of the entire world. When I later considered a topic for my thesis, I looked for research that had been conducted on the music of the Muskogee people and found that nothing had been published since 1913. I received support from the university to travel to Oklahoma, and with appropriate cultural protocols and permissions from the community in place, I attended ceremonies, recorded songs, interviewed singers and dancers and instrument makers, and after witnessing and being taught about ceremonies that my ancestors had participated in for thousands of years, I returned to campus a changed person. I sat in my office in Presser Hall for many months, late into the night, transcribing hours of interviews and songs, and then analyzing and writing about Muskogee music. Now, this was the Dark Ages, and I had to handprint my musical transcriptions and use something called a typewriter to complete the text. And I know if I'd only had a computer, I would have been out of here a semester earlier. The work that I did at Miami led to a fellowship to study in the doctoral program at UCLA, another cross-country move, and 100% immersion into a very rich and stimulating environment. Then 2 years into my doctoral studies, and I had an intriguing offer. I was invited to take a 2-year position at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., to catalog and repatriate a one-of-a-kind collection of 7,000 wax cylinder recordings of Native American music and spoken word. It was a tough choice, but it was a unique opportunity, and UCLA agreed to hold my fellowship for 2 years, so I took the job. The people at U-Hall began to know me by my first name. The work with the wax cylinder recordings was fascinating. The repatriation component involved returning copies of these old and culturally significant recordings to the communities where they were originally collected. This brought me into contact with my next set of respected and important teachers, the cultural leaders and elders from numerous Native American communities across the country. 2 years at that work, and then I reached the most challenging crossroads in my professional life. While still in DC, I was offered another job to work with a firm that specialized in Native American education. As a budding ethnomusicologist, I wasn't sure that I was qualified, but they liked the experience and skills that I had and offered to train me to work with educators. It was another difficult decision. Should I go back to UCLA and finish my doctorate? Or should I take a job working in a field where I felt there was a critical need and where I thought I could potentially make a difference? So after weighing many factors, including the needs of my family, I opted to take the Native American education position. And in that field, I found a professional home for my life's work. After 13 years at the private firm, I worked for 2 years at the Bureau of Indian Affairs within the Department of the Interior, and then spent the last 18 years at the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Indian. And there I was able to manage a national education initiative to improve teaching and learning about Native Americans. My life's work has been focused on making education culturally relevant for Native American children, and on making education about Native Americans for all students more accurate and comprehensive. Native children today are still subject to stereotypes that are based on inaccurate and incomplete information. Native families live with extremely high levels of poverty and disadvantages in healthcare, education, and employment. But when given an opportunity for an education that includes and respects their cultures, histories, and contemporary lives, Native people develop the self-esteem and confidence needed to pursue careers as artists, scientists, educators, business people, or other pursuits. I've been fortunate to be in positions to help address social disparities and to influence change. I've had wonderful experiences working with cultural and educational leaders, thousands of teachers, school boards, communities, and educational organizations across the nation, and I feel satisfied having pursued a meaningful and fruitful career. My education at Miami and elsewhere has been enormously valuable, and most importantly for today's conversation, in ways that I never could have anticipated at the time. Being flexible and open has been incredibly important to me, not only in terms of finding my career, but in how I functioned within it. I've had opportunities because people believed in me enough to give me a chance. I've always appreciated those opportunities and worked very hard to justify their trust. I think rites of passage, such as graduation ceremonies, are important opportunities to celebrate and recognize life's big transitions. On such occasions in Muskogee culture, it's important not just to be the honoree, but to use the occasion to acknowledge and thank the teachers, mentors, and supporters who've made our achievements possible. So in that spirit, I'd like to acknowledge 3 individuals formerly at Miami University: Dr. Pamela Fox, who advised my thesis and taught me how to research, organize, and write. She also supported my efforts to get into a prestigious doctoral program. Also, Mr. Winfred Cummings, who inspired me musically and philosophically and taught me how to analyze, hear, and think about music in new ways. And Dr. Lawrence DeWitt, chair of the music program at the time, who offered the teaching assistantship that brought me to Miami. I encourage all of you to think about this as an important opportunity to express gratitude to those who helped you get to where you are at this moment. I also want to acknowledge the growth and integrity of Miami University. When I went to school here, the teams were still known as the Redskins. I'm proud that this institution had the courage and commitment to divest itself of a mascot name that was inappropriate and problematic for many reasons, even though it had served for many as an important source of pride. I also applaud the work that the university has done to forge a relationship with the Miami tribe of Oklahoma and the collaborations that led to the creation of the Meonia Center here on campus. These kinds of actions, even though they can be difficult and sometimes controversial, bring positive change and do make an important difference. Going forward, each of you will continue a unique relationship and set of experiences with your creativity and the art forms that you practice. I encourage you to engage fully with life and to interact with the world in creative ways. Continue to refine your creative voice to make your art unique and not derivative. Exercise your creativity in ways that are meaningful to you, whether that's as an artist or something else. And if you're willing, there are many critical issues to be addressed: the environment and the sustainability of the planet, the future of K-12 arts education, and even the potential effects of artificial intelligence on creativity, to name a few. The arts have incredible power to influence hearts and minds and to make a difference on important issues such as these. I wish all of you the best in your unique journey with the arts and in navigating the opportunities and challenges that you will encounter, and I sincerely hope that you thrive in creative and rewarding ways. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the day.
Thank you for those inspiring words. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's student speaker, Charlotte Perez. Charlotte, will you please come to the stage? Charlotte Perez is a graduating senior majoring in theater with a minor in social justice and inequalities and a certificate in fostering just communities. Her time at Miami has been filled with numerous projects, organizations, and jobs. She has served as a campus tour guide since 2019 and has guided numerous prospective students through campus. She has been a member of the Walking Theater Project since her freshman year and has served on their executive team for the past 3, is a member of Alpha Psi Omega, and a new member of Alpha Kappa Delta. During this final year of her time at Miami, she was also selected to direct on Miami Theater's main stage season for the show Angel's Trumpet, which also served as her capstone project. Most recently, Charlotte was among the select group of seniors receiving the President's Distinguished Service Award. Beyond all the projects she has worked on, Charlotte is most proud of the people she's met and the friends she's made along the way. Charlotte?
What do you want to be when you grow up? Many of you may remember being asked that question at a young age, and your families here for you today probably remember asking you that question as well. It's a question that lingers with us from elementary school through high school and dictates a lot of our future decisions. A lot of our answers have changed and molded with us over time, of course, from answering with the limited amount of careers we're actually aware of at the age of 7 to actually thinking about what we're going to major in college. Most of us have listed an array of careers over the course of our lives that grew alongside our passions. For me, I first wanted to be a veterinarian. To be honest, I said this one because everyone was saying that at my age. I liked animals, and the idea of working with them for the rest of my life was enticing. However, my hopelessly horrible biology retention proved that that wouldn't be the best idea for me. Then I wanted to be a writer. This was my first foray into creative expression. I loved writing and dedicated hours to my craft, but my grammar is far from perfect and proved to be my downfall as a writer, and thus I eventually fell out of that passion as well. Then I got a little older, and the question shifted. What do you want to be when you grow up shifted to what should you be when you grow up? I started considering the thoughts of others when I thought about my future. What do others think I'm good at? What am I good at? What do other people think I should be? And what is good for my future? Although I hate to admit it, I looked to those around me to think about what I should do with the rest of my life. Rest assured, I had plenty of opinions about what I should do with the rest of my life: teacher, lawyer, historian, etc. Things I was seemingly good at but lacked the passion for. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life that would actually work for me, that would actually make me happy. I was a junior in high school when I realized theater had been and is my passion. It took some convincing. Part of that convincing even happened here at Miami on Arts Day. My parents saw opportunities that awaited me, and I saw a future that would make me happy, and a future I knew I would find happiness in. Aside from my own experience, I see the effects of outsider influence every year with each generation of students who go to college. I've been a campus tour guide since my freshman year, and I always hear the little asides from prospective students to their parents about what they're actually interested in versus what they're actually going into. And in many cases, a sacrifice is made, majoring in what others expect of you in order to gain peace from those around you. I've wrestled with this often, as I personally believe everyone should find what they're passionate about and follow through with it. I choose to reinforce this idea through my last speech I give to prospective families before they leave. At the end of our campus tours here, we give our Why We Chose Miami speech to these prospective students. And aside from giving my own reasons for why I chose to go and stay at Miami, I also remind these students that these next 4 years are for them, and that these years are setting them up for the rest of their lives. A little push to think about themselves in the craziness of application season. So here we are now. We've done it. We've done all the tests, research projects, and exams, and are anxiously waiting to get that degree to start the rest of our lives. So I present you with this question now. Who do you want to be? I'm not asking about your career or projects, but who do you want to become and who do you want to be known as? Do you want to travel the world? What aspirations do you have for your life? How do you want to be remembered? Your future is going to go in a million different directions. And what you imagine your life to be may or may not be the way you plan it. You will grow and change with time. You will find new passions, and you will change. And that is okay. Let that happen and grow along with it. In some form of strange fate or a sign from a higher power, during the week I was writing this speech, I was finding difficulty with how to end it. And fortunately, the TikTok gods heard my struggles and gave me this passage from writer Daniel Kopek. I know that it feels like your life is hanging on certain decisions, that moving forward feels terrifying because you don't want to make the wrong choice, that you can't make the wrong choice. Because if you do, if you walk down this path and things don't work out, your entire life will fall apart and you'll never be able to go back and undo the damage. But the truth is that the decisions in your life don't have to be all or nothing. There aren't only two options, and the options don't have to be limited to you succeed and experience joy, or you fail and experience pain. Life is fluid. It's unpredictable and always changing. And it's resilient. No single choice is strong enough to make or break your life. Nothing you choose has to be the end of you. You can always walk down a different path. You can always close doors that don't serve you and open new ones that do. You never have to stay stuck. There are always options. I hope you all continue finding your passions and opening new doors. Congratulations, class of 2023. We did it!
We'd now like to recognize those students who have earned special recognition or won top awards in their departments. First, though, would all of our CCA scholars, as well as members of the Dean's Student Advisory Council, please stand? These students demonstrate exceptional academic achievement as well as talent and have contributed to our division in multiple ways throughout their 4 years here at Miami. Please be seated. This year also marked our second annual Spark Fest event held just a few weeks ago that brought both the visual and performing arts out on the Arts Quad and on display to the broader university. A big thank you to all those who worked on this project, and a special shout out to this year's co-chairs, Zoe Newbig and Josh Sanger. Would you both please stand? Next, we'd like to recognize our top undergraduate award winners in each department. Those students called to the stage will receive an original work of art, a medallion designed and created by Glover Marfo, a graduating master's student in studio art. Glover's medallion design is pictured in your program and has been 3D printed for today's ceremony. Glover, are you here today? Let's give him a hand. chair of each department will present the awards, and I invite Mary Rajero to the podium to present the Outstanding Senior Awards for the Department of Architecture and Interior Design.
Our department made several awards at our ceremony last week, and I'd like to ask just a few of those students to stand and be recognized. Courtney Geiger for the Alpha Rho Chi Service Award, Sonia Nusrat for the AIA Medal of Academic Excellence, Mac Kokensparger for the BTES Edward Allen Award, and Tenzin Rashana for the ARCC King Research Award. Today, we also recognize 3 students, and I ask you to come to the stage to receive a medallion. The Outstanding Senior Award for the major in architecture is presented each year to recognize the highest GPA in the graduating class. This year, the award goes to Sophia Blatnick and Keenan Belisari. Keenan, I know you're out there. Maybe not. The Outstanding Senior Award for the major in interior design is similarly presented to the graduating senior who has earned the highest grade point average. This year, the award goes to Eleanor Stahl. Amanda Alexander will present the Outstanding Senior Awards for the Department of Art.
The Department of Art is pleased to honor several recipients for this year's Outstanding Senior Awards. Selections for the awards were made by the consensus of the faculty in each program. Each awardee represents a degree program within the department, and I'd like to ask each of you to come to the stage. In the Communication Design program, the award this year goes to Katie McNamara. Our Outstanding Senior Award in the Studio Art program goes to Zoe Newbig. The Outstanding Senior in the Art and Architecture History program is awarded to Layla Haydar. And last but not least, the Art Education Program awards Allison McLean the Outstanding Senior Award for Art Education. The Outstanding Senior Awards in the Department of Music will be presented by Chris Tanner.
The recipient of the Outstanding Future Music Educator Award is chosen by the Music Education Committee. Selection criteria include grade point average, leadership, service to the department, and great promise as a music educator. The 2023 Outstanding Future Music Educator Award this year goes to two recipients, and I ask them to come forward, Jacob Butzine and Holly Bates. The recipient for the Outstanding Music Scholar Award is chosen by the Academic Areas Committee. This year, the committee selected an outstanding student who has distinguished herself through independent, creative, and scholarly work. I'm pleased to present this award to Isabella Gaskill. Finally, the recipient for the Outstanding Performer Award is chosen by the Performance Studies Committee. The committee members chose the graduating senior that they believe has the most distinguished record of music performance during their Miami University studies. This year, the Outstanding Performer Award goes to Evan Danielson. Matt Omasta will present the Outstanding Senior Awards for the Department of Theater.
The Department of Theater, at its awards ceremony last week, celebrated the following seniors for their excellent work in academics, leadership, creativity, and citizenship. I ask you each to please stand and be recognized. For outstanding service, Madeline Collins, Joseph Sheridan, and Emily Stowers. For outstanding leadership, Charlotte Perez. For outstanding creative achievement, Maura Kesterson. For outstanding academic achievement, Cassie Duker and Haley Sig. Each year, the faculty and staff of the theater department choose one student to receive the overall award for excellence in theater, and I'd like to ask this year's winner to come to the stage. For overall excellence in theater, Maura Kesterson. The Outstanding Senior Awards in the Department of Emerging Technology in Business and Design will be presented by Michael Bailey Van Kuren.
Emerging Technology in Business and Design recognized our graduates who received awards for distinctive achievement in their curricular areas yesterday during the ETBD luncheon. As I read each of your names, please stand to be recognized. Christopher Daw, Cody Lukatic, Dylan Parker, Kanaya Ofadil, Evan Sweeney, Olivia Bachmeyer, Erica Kerman, Alessandra Manukian, Joshua Roach, Kiara Famera, Deckard Manny, Lily Venerable, and Grace Cox. You may be seated. We also singled out 2 of these students for top awards. Would you both come to the stage to receive these awards? For Outstanding ETBD Scholar, this year's award goes to Olivia Bachmeyer. We're way in the back, so it takes a little longer. For Outstanding ETBD Ambassador, this year's award goes to Erica Kerman. I invite Jack Green to the podium to present the awards from the Richard and Carol Cox Art Museum.
This year, the Richard and Carol Cox Art Museum acknowledges a Community Partner of the Year, a Volunteer Leader, and a Faculty Leader of the Year for their efforts to connect the Art Museum to the community and to students. This year's community partner is Mandy Reed of Union County High School. And this year's volunteer leader is Susan Joyce. And this year's faculty leader of the year is Dr. Andrew Casper. Andrew, could you please stand? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The Art Museum staff recognize the following graduating seniors for their significant contributions. They received awards at the Art Museum's annual meeting. Please stand and be recognized. Layla Hayder, Zoe Newbig, Mary Visco, and Gillian Beale. Please stand. Please applaud. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize 2 students for their outstanding leadership and ongoing contributions to the Richard and Carol Cox Art Museum and ask them to come to the stage. This year's Outstanding Student Leaders of the Year are Logan Bowers and Olivia De Leon. Is Logan Bowers here? Okay. All right, thank you.
You know, that's just totally unfair to have you all do the long walk up here while several thousand people watch you. But you all made it. Let's give all of those award winners a big round of applause. Among today's distinguished group of graduates are several who have earned highest honors for their academic performance during their time at Miami, and I'd like to recognize them now. Would students who have earned the Latin honor recognition cum laude please stand and be recognized? May be seated. Would students who have earned the recognition magna cum laude please stand? And finally, would students who have earned the recognition summa cum laude and a cumulative GPA of at least 3.9 please stand? Take a moment to recognize all of these exceptional students. In 1994, the College of Creative Arts received a substantial endowment from John and Jean Ervesty to establish an award recognizing Professor Emeritus Crossan Hayes Curry, a former faculty member in the Department of Art who was greatly admired for his teaching and art making. The award honors outstanding faculty in the college who have blended creative and scholarly achievements to the advantage of student learning. I'd like to recognize the past Curry Award winners. If you are here today, please stand. Want to recognize all of you for your creativity, talent, professionalism, and dedication to students. Thank you for serving as outstanding role models. I'm pleased to announce that the recipient of the Crossan Hayes Curry Distinguished Educator Award for 2023 is Dr. Elizabeth Hoover. Now you have to listen to a little bit about her. Dr. Elizabeth Hoover is a teaching professor in the Department of Music. The Crossan Hayes Curry Award is the highest recognition of excellence in teaching awarded by our college, and Professor Hoover is a most deserving recipient among a pool of very talented faculty. In her letter of nomination, Dr. Elizabeth Reed notes that Dr. Hoover's rapport with students goes above and beyond by engaging in questioning and projects that allow students to develop inquiry within music history, which is typically a canon of memorization and historical references. Dr. Hoover has developed her curriculum so that the students connect traditional and non-traditional canon of music history so that future musicians will know how to search for historical context. As the lead departmental advisor, Dr. Hoover works through many difficult tasks and is highly knowledgeable in advising students through their degree programs. She is very giving of her time with students and colleagues to make sure we have the students' best interests at hand. As a colleague, Dr. Hoover engages in professional development across campus and strives to encourage faculty to continue to grow as educators. Her work ethic and desire to seek systemic change within a traditional canon are revolutionary and have a vision that is inclusive of a well-rounded liberal arts education. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Elizabeth Hoover. We are glad to have you join the list of distinguished, she's back, Curry Award winners. We'd now like to recognize our Graduates by Degree program, and I invite Associate Dean Noltemeyer and our College of Creative Arts chairs to the podium to do this.
Will all the master's degree candidates in the College of Creative Arts please rise? It is my honor to recognize our master's candidates this afternoon in architecture, art, entrepreneurship and emerging technology, esports management, experience design, and music. As graduate students, these individuals set the intellectual and creative bar for their respective departments and programs. The master's degree typically requires a minimum of 30 credit hours of coursework and scholarly activities beyond the baccalaureate degree. These rigorous programs prepare our graduates to enter the workforce as advanced professionals or for further academic study. With the approval of the graduate faculty, each of these candidates has completed all the requirements for their degree, and I present them to you with pride. Please join me in recognizing our master's candidates. You may be seated.
Will the graduates of the Department of Architecture and Interior Design please rise? Please join me in recognizing our amazing graduates in architecture and interior design. You may be seated.
Will the co-majors of Arts Management and the graduates of the Arts Management and Arts Entrepreneurship program please rise? Thank you for joining me in recognizing our graduates. Congratulations.
Will the graduates of the Department of Art please rise? Please join me in recognizing our graduates in Studio Art, Communication Design, Art Education, and Art and Architecture History, along with our co-majors in Art Therapy and Fashion.
Graduates of the Department of Music in Music Performance, Music Education, Music Composition, and the Bachelor of Arts degree in Music, please stand up. Congratulations.
Will the graduates of the Department of Theater please rise? Congratulations.
Will
Will the graduates of the Department of Emerging Technology in Business and Design please rise? Please join me in recognizing our graduates that make cool stuff in ETBD games and simulation and interactive media studies. You may be seated.
We now honor the accomplishments of our graduates, including our co-majors, by recognizing each 2023 graduate in the College of Creative Arts individually. Candidates will be announced by Patty Libertor, Julia Gishard, Glenn Platt, and Jack Green as they cross the platform. And I invite our faculty to greet students as they leave the stage. Marshals, please escort faculty to the side aisles.
Zhutong Shu.
Max Daniel Kokensbarger.
Laura Ann Carroll.
Nicklin Brooks.
Yunqi Jia.
Seth Moyer.
Xiao Zhuao.
Macy Dana Whitaker.
Kevin Edward.
Nina Thamasa.
Kylan Hu.
Sonia Nusrat.
Franklin Giovanni Sandoval.
Araun Duoti Day.
Jasmine Simone Watkins.
Fatime Shaheen.
Jenna Joanne Tribet.
Pariza Amadi.
Raymond Tyler Butler.
Rochelle K. Spear.
Roy DeMoe.
Ayushi Singhal.
Jeffrey Ross Bloom.
Pankaj Notjoy.
Austin C. Turner.
Tanzim Rachana.
Susan Kapnis.
An Wong.
Jordan Davis.
Glover Marfo.
Cassidy R. Gebhardt.
Harris Martinson.
Elise Renee Sampson Maxberry.
Carly Gallus.
Do you have a card? What's your? Haley Hughes.
Bailey Schmidt.
Lauren Elizabeth Manus.
Gregor Vincent Tillman.
Madison Lori Ann Wells.
Herschel M. Albert.
Abigail Marie Sopiris.
Sabina Kerstoyu.
Allison Suzanne Jacob.
Caitlin Rothar.
Alexandria S. John.
Serena Lauren Alusinski.
Serena Claire Kaplan.
Trevor Adam Clements.
Joshua Cade Straw.
Christopher Garcia Wolf.
Christopher D. Packleb.
Sophia Del Verne.
James R. L. Lukenda.
Emma Catherine Name.
Olivia May Eddy.
Julia Lett.
Aria Monet Oliver.
Marissa Lee Hasseman.
Amanda Michelle Fenton.
Carissa Maureen Ott.
Zoe Deanna Vukalik.
Sheridan Leash.
Elizabeth Grace Gandert.
Megan Elizabeth McNamara.
Connor John Hendrickson.
Brenna McCarty.
Brianna Rose Fultz.
Nico Rajani.
David Funky.
Cameron Laurel Milstein.
Brennan Christopher Fogel.
Emma Blue Ostrom.
Amy Elizabeth Darst.
Fangzhou Young.
Caleb Allen Benton.
Jiron Tong.
Ilya Rakowski.
Bailey May Walker.
Jacob Robert Lorkovic.
Alex Joseph Cox.
Caden Amanus Croucher.
Zoe Rinaldi.
Evan Philip Danielson.
Claire Marie Bateson.
Madison Marie Tile.
Courtney Nicole Geiger.
Holly Simone Bates.
Eleanor Alice Stahl.
Emily Ann Growler.
Carol Adeline Perez.
Emily Marie Kahn.
Carly Elizabeth Nail.
Nicholas Isaiah Johnson.
Olivia Amanda Guess.
Malcolm Isaiah King.
Ayana Shaylease John.
Cesar Miguel Nowicki.
Selena Shelby Jeffers.
Isabella Erin Gaskill.
Paige Elise Heldman.
Kayla Renee Kinder.
Connor Westmoreland Crum.
Jacob Michael Butzine.
Audrey Grace Smith.
Jessica Overholser.
Sarah Catherine McDermott.
Catherine Harriet Aloriaga Madden.
Oliver J. Anthony Brenner.
Hunter James Kyler.
Simon Louis Hushong.
Benjamin Taylor Martin.
Alec Joseph Zimmerman.
Catherine Elizabeth Ullery.
Joshua Michael Carbon.
Eleanor Rachel Wilms.
Fianfoloa Ayolawa Akamalafi.
Carolina Rebecca Sullivan.
Jacob Harris Sullivan.
Dylan Edward Becker.
Meredith Claire Lombardi.
Riley Joe Swartout.
Victoria Ann Grayes.
Rebecca Ann Gates.
Angelina Silvestri.
Patricia Ann Grogan.
Allison Taylor Most.
Catherine M. Johnston.
Madison Ann Wilson Angelini.
Emerson Sinclair Adams.
Casey Johnson.
Emily Lynn Stowers.
Connor Neville Wainwright.
Andrew Baxter Whitehead.
William Logan Fisher.
Justin Dylan Bourne.
Julie Pham.
Joseph Henry Sheridan.
Justin Chris Smith.
Haley Ann Sigg.
Margaret Ann Getch.
Andrew Robert Grant.
Sophia Nancy Blatnick.
Madeline Elizabeth Collins.
Emily Nicole Hassler.
Mara Beth Kesterson.
Benjamin Stephen Nelson.
Charlotte Marie Perez.
Sabra Sadecki.
Connor William Mully.
Kayla Ruth Skursky.
Jacob Palmer.
Samantha Sarah Richards.
Abigail Marie Biu.
Samuel John George.
Catherine Davis Hale.
Toby Charles Bendel Harris.
Skylar Rianne Booth.
Beck Christopher Luthringshausen.
Jessica Nicole Penman.
T. Young Shi.
Olivia Lorraine Tormey.
Stephanie Ann Tonkovic.
Grace Christina Cahill.
Joshua Aaron Singer.
Margaret Adele Jansen.
Molly M. Rash.
Emma Grace Jobson.
Delaney Rihanna Wilson.
Meredith Lee Neiman.
Helen Ava Figgy.
Henry Aralt.
Olivia Marie Wiles.
Andrew Campbell Kavanaugh.
Molly Claire Enza.
David Martin.
Kate Stewart Enza.
Jack B. Corkin.
Olivia De Leon.
Jacob Michael Hoffman.
Zoe Newbig.
Omar Wallace.
Mary Kate Visco.
James Matthew Paxton.
Layla Grace Hyder.
Deckard Eston Manny.
Caitlin Aline Campbell.
Luke David Sawhook.
Malik Darian Wilkins.
Benjamin Dare Jacoby.
Olivia Shea Wilson.
Christopher Aaron Zinkin.
Kayla Salazar Linsky.
Amitaj Carr.
Flora Siobhan Hammersmith.
Jenna Mauro.
Leah Y. Newman.
Owen Wilton Wardle.
Nicholas Joseph Valeris.
Nicholas James Reeker.
Alison Marie Ellen Grodecki.
I know, I got it. Matthew Zaremsek.
Soren Reed Melby.
Kirsten Rochelle Grimm.
Brandon Martin Corbell.
Bennett Walker Wyant.
Samantha Amy Freeland.
Wendy Elizabeth Poe.
Shay Margaret Frawley.
Sean Jacob O'Brien.
Isabella Marie Wallace.
Gage Michael Utrup.
Brooke Elizabeth Begley.
Logan Herbert Hoffman.
Margaret Ellen McLaughlin.
James Michael Barry.
Amanda Lee Back.
Kayla Marie Jackson.
Madeline Lucille Heinlein.
Megan Cameron Williams.
Grace Tristan Brown.
Morgan Victoria Aziz.
Allison Ann McLean.
Younglin Angel Lua.
Allison Radakovitz Johnson.
McKenna Marie Kronemeyer.
Weishan Wang.
Zachary Austin Pine.
Catherine Angela Dillard.
Isaiah Luciano Marced.
Caitlin Mary Paisley Warner.
Christopher Tucker Vlaha.
Sophia Catherine Rosen.
Ethan Henry Tobin.
Grace Ann Hall.
Bettina Gwen Solidio Tan.
Catherine Jane McNamara.
Suhalia Mesa Butal.
Claire Emily Vandergrift.
Dylan Ray Parker.
Dill Kyle Hens.
Amanda Rose Schweder.
Tuli Cisco Helena Piernanen.
Morgan Elizabeth Schwartz.
Shay Eads.
Sophia Susan Zagara. Oh, you're done. All right. Brooklyn Elizabeth Liebinger. Samuel Bryson Kunkemoller. Jack Ernst Purdon. Emily Elaine Klein. Giovanna Elizabeth Sarnello. Fraser Dawson Luganbiel. Richard Thomas Lozanowski. Kennedy Audra Kerr. Jason Patrick Butts. Matthew Eric Schumann. Holly Elizabeth Hayden. Grace Jennifer Hayden. Bryce Foren. Joshua Philip Roach. Madison Faye Cox. Grace Ann Cox. Madison Page Cobb. Lily Elaine Venerable. Erica Daniel Kerman. Evan Michael Sweeney. Cody Allen Luketic. Bridget Margaret Torpy. Joshua David Hubbard. I feel like Matt got the better deal here. Mark C. Wenzel. Benjamin David Cronister. Kendall Ann Bees. Adriana Elizabeth Parker. Lauren Elizabeth Hahn. William Miles Cavett III. Maxwell Davis Manley. Christopher Raymond Daw. Brandon DeMoss. Alessandra Manukin. Jitong Gu. Laura C. Polanca. Kiara Angel Famera. Jared Dennis Delac. Samantha Rose Galati. Taylor Ann McSwain. Bokai Young. Ann Na Twang. Lan Chi Tran. Karina Lenore Solorzano. Paige Jila Johnson McGill. Olivia Marie Bachmeyer. Amber Grace Hochstank. Tanner Dunwoody. And last but not least, Zhang Xiang Xu.
Will all the graduates please stand? I wish you a lifetime of learning, of success, of creativity. Congratulations to our thriving artists, innovators, and creatives. One more round of applause here. The words and music to the Miami alma mater are located in your program. Please rise and join Madison Wells, accompanied by the trombone ensemble, in the singing of Miami's alma mater. Please be seated as we reach the conclusion of the 2023 College of Creative Arts Recognition Ceremony. We invite all of you to join us in an informal reception in the North Rink next door where you can meet the faculty and take pictures. Again, to all of today's graduates, congratulations. And please remain seated until the faculty and graduates have left the arena to the music provided by members of the Miami University Steel Band.